Dude.
Yeah?
Literally all the lines in my face are just from fake smiling to indulge people. And to get along with them. Because it matters. To me. Or it's the only thing that might matter.
I don't need to matter.
Ah. The nihilistic approach.
No, what I need is for my helping of others to matter. That's what's important.
Okay.
So, in other words, others matter. I want minimal interaction with them, except insofar as I can help them. But outside of that, I really don't like interaction with them. I don't like.
I think you find it gratifying, though. I mean, I find people utterly disappointing in their ability to help themselves and be mutually constructive. But that doesn't change the fact that I wouldn't have meaning without them. How much money to eat this?
Realistically, if there were cash sitting right there and I get to pick it up, if I could bring it to get it into my stomach, I'd probably do it for like a good 5,000.
Oh, I like it. I like the realism. This is legend, all right?
Legend. Is it the Eurydice?
The legend about me.
Okay, what's the legend?
That the day I was born at Arlington Hospital, there were no rooms at the inn. And so I was born in a modified broom closet.
No, you're not kidding?
This is my kingdom. I am the custodial Messiah incarnated.
Is this like a story, or is it?
This is true.
This
From the
is-
closet I came to the closet I have returned.
Was amazing.
The first Christmas trees of the year.
Well, first appropriate Christmas trees of the year.
Of the season.
Yeah, I got the July ones. Those are pretty good. These ones are
Bless you,
chocolate.
little Debbie. Thank you.
A comedy is something that I watch when I feel good. Is kind of a reward to myself, you know. I don't watch comedy when I'm sad. I watch comedy when I'm feeling good, and then I watch it to feel better. But it's a different kind of feeling good.
Here's the thing, though. I really hate when people sort of write off comedy as being this emotional relief, because to me, it's about way more. It's about exposing weaknesses and thus identifying strength and identifying good and creating kind of a memory pattern in the brain to latch on to kind of what makes us human.
Yeah.
Which is done through exposing the vulnerabilities and things like that. So
Yeah.
when people sort of give it the treatment,
Yeah.
you know, I just think that's missing the fact that it is life. Like, I used to have this kind of guilt about entertainment where I just thought, you know, it's this unnecessary distraction from real spiritual work. And now I'm like, wait, that's the spiritual work. That's what shows me how stupid it is to like live in the world of anger and vengeance and vitriol. Because, like, okay, some of us are just trying to live here.
Yeah.
Why the hell are people out starting beef with each other? Sometimes one can use their own vessel as a conduit to universal truths for the world.
Alright, gotcha.
I love that you find it so funny. You find these like such random things funny, but then you're also like the only person that fully identifies with my sense of humor. That's the best, dude.
Yeah, I know.
You breach cultures. Dee comes in and introduces Rodman to the group. I think this would be the it moment. Like that shot that you took of me and Hallie that you said was the it moment of my year, and then you lost it. I stopped shooting anything for like 2 months after that. Not really. I cut back my shooting about 80% because I was like, it's done. We missed the it moment. Then I got to like reviewing it and I was like, oh, that wasn't the it moment. It's kind of a metaphor for life. Like you look back and something you thought mattered so much doesn't actually matter.
Yeah,
And then you're like, why did I stop living?
pretty much. You're right about that.
So,
What really mattered to you even 5 years ago, right now, they don't matter anymore.
right. You always think you've got a perfect retrospective, you know?
Yeah.
Just keep living. She's here
Hey, what's
to
up?
redeem her prize.
Ayo.
So, Hallie won donuts for herself in a bet because she did not cry when she got pulled over by the police. Just like Jesus fills your heart.
Everyday life in the break room.
Day in the life. Well, first I woke up, then I got dressed. Actually, I texted you. Did I call you or did I text you?
Text
I
me.
texted me after asking your way.
Alright guys, I went down to the warehouse on 12th Street, got some forks for us.
Wow, good job.
Wow.
What about that?
Okay. Are you ready? Are you ready? I don't know if I can do it with the tech on.
Whoa, so many forks.
I'm a big helper.
The ride with positive energy and enthusiasm.
They're your trophies. You earn them.
Step number 8. Post a sign that says, "No energy vampires allowed."
Wow.
Love your passengers.
What if I think everyone else is an energy vampire?
Bro. Have fun and enjoy the ride.
If a book didn't tell me, I wouldn't know it. People who can only process something by reading it or intellectualizing it aren't usually the same kind of people that can figure things out. Like there's an inverse relationship between like passion for absorbing knowledge and actually being able to induce information.
Yeah, I see that.
Which is why everyone, I think, needs a certain amount of time, not too much, but a certain amount of time of just like thinking. Like not doing much, just thinking.
And people don't know how to just sit with their own thoughts. That's the problem. Everyone's afraid of it. If I hadn't hit the ceiling.
That's in.
Nothing if not net. I've created a monster. We are the Mean Bean Boys.
The Mean Bean Boys. Wait, I gotta get in on this and dance. Or crack it, dude, crack it.
What we perceive as choice is a continuation of that initial choice of consciousness to begin. Whatever is perfect about the agent of creation, we call it God, is imperfect through us, but is living out some kind of, we'll call it a game, in which we manifest as making a sequence of our own choices, which is in fact the very act of creation.
Why are you not a philosophy major?
Because why do I need to be graded on this? Here we go. 50-yard toter dash. 3, 2, 1. 9.83 seconds, dude. That is the benchmark.
Did you actually get refreshed this time?
Did I get refreshed this time?
Yeah.
No. I always make my life worse on breaks. I spent Thanksgiving with my family. And then, after that, I actually went up to Philly, because that felt like far enough to get out of my head, which really nowhere is far enough to get out of my head, but just to like loosen up my inhibitions long enough to have an experience that would like juice me up for another segment of existence. Here's the thing about doing that, is if you fail, that is worse than any failure in your day-to-day life. When you realize you can't even create an experience that like makes life worth it, it's like finding out that you're actually just a dog dreaming about cars. Like, you wouldn't know what to do if you catch one. You don't like how it tastes. Banana train is here, buddy. Would you like an Olaf?
This is going to waste, you know?
In your belly, bro.
I can't put that many bananas in my belly.
Just enjoy one. It's the little things.
What do you think when we have days like this? There's a nice, crisp, chill wind blowing by. Got our freaking bananas. Well, mine's like broken, but
You gotta throw out the extremes. People define their lives by like the best and the worst moments. It's these moments. These are life right here. So,
the banana.
you know,
of
not to
life.
get hung up on it and be like, life, make sure you taste it. It's just like, you know, don't be thinking about the next thing or the thing that just happened. Just fucking enjoy that banana, you know? Or the whole thing. See, it's not even about the thingness of the banana. It's what you said. It's, here we are. Feel the breeze. Hear the sounds. Unplug for a second here. Yeah. Life still sucks. I think maybe I made up the whole bit about doing this job to preserve creative energy and meditate or whatever I said. I think I'm just in denial about the fact that I have no actual ambition. And that if given the freedom to live my life as I pleased, I might not really come up with anything good to do. It's an excuse. It's a crutch.
God bless us, everyone. I think it's a perfectly good little treat, Charlie Brown.
Wow, look
Yeah.
at you.
Look at this, though.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
also a rebel.
totally unprofessional. You are going to get called out for that. And then I'm not going to be allowed to do the same.
If I'm picking a time in history to live, I'll take it right on the cusp of pre and post internet.
Oh, yeah.
Like, dude, 1990, spit me out, baby. The 2010s have kind of been America's teen years, right? In the sense that like a teenager is kind of controlled by their chemical brain, even if they are self-aware enough to see that.
It's when you get to your 20s that you kind of call the shots and say, hey, here's the change I want to see happen, and you make the change in the brain occur.
Clinical efficiency.
Like, imagine two people put in isolation, right? One person may absolutely lose their mind and just go like a loon, right? Whereas another person experiences that intense pain of going through it, and they refuse to mentally break and turn into a mush. But that results in so much more intense suffering to them. And the question for me is, how can you bear that cross and come out of it better for the suffering?
It all depends on how much you actually want to change, how open to change you are. Your mind says, like, the status quo isn't working. If you can't turn into something else, then what you currently have is unfit for life. And that may or may not be true. You know, you might just be having that response. But personally, I think for myself, like, it's time for another death. You know, like, you have to find a way to die to whatever you are in a given moment when depression says it's not working. Like, I think it's actually a survival mechanism, not what we've made it out to be, which is a disease. My thing is to propagate ideas rather than biologically reproducing. And here you are in the position of having a child on the way.
Being your
telling me that-
progeny.
yeah.
One of the craziest things to me about all of it is, like, also recognizing the role of, like, an authority figure, but especially in context to an authority figure as a father figure. Authority all stems from the dynamic between the parent and the child. Like, that's the ultimate breakdown of where, like, you know, all of the authority structures that we see. Like, we have a single president of the United States. Like, that's kind of a weird thought.
You can go faster if you're not thinking as much about get there as much as you're thinking about grasping. All right. Use the force this time. Got it. Oh. Honey, I'm home. There is no better sitcom than life itself. Am I right?
No,
I'm not right.
you're not.
What's the best sitcom?
Actual sitcoms.
Oh. I mean, whatever, fine. I think the cast of characters in life is pretty great, though.
I think that there's probably a life version of a sitcom that was funnier than any sitcom could ever be.
How pure and beautiful is that?
Dude,
Like, that would have been better than
that's gonna be on the list.
any
When
show.
you go to heaven, you get to put, like, drop in the VHS of it. You're just like,
VHS.
oh!
We have VHS in heaven.
It's sci-fi.
Everyone has a different idea of heaven. Now, is the shit gone?
Yeah,
Sometimes your shit resurfaces.
It's really occasional, but when it does, it's a lot of it, and it's everywhere.
Okay, yes, this is the one. Okay, this is the vomitus test. Or I can go here. But
So you're on the track.
if I'm here, well, then we have a tripping hazard, but it goes neatly into the trash can. And then alternately, I can sort of fold at the waist over here. So we're pretty much covered.
Tell me how it feels to find 5 different body fluids to be cleaned up in one day.
It's almost like an outbreak. Like
An outbreak.
like a zombie outbreak.
Like one just leads to another until finally someone's like, you know what, I'm just gonna jack off.
Yeah, that's true. Yep.
It's the
Yep.
climax of everything.
It is.
Lay down with the cool kids.
Oh, dude, look, there's a freaking hornet's nest. Look, a giant hornet's nest.
Massive.
Dude, it looks kind of broken open. I really wish I had the ability to zoom in on that thing right now. Ooh, maybe my
I
camera's
got it right
good.
here. Adventure calls.
Oh, dude, that was like growing back. That thing's the size of my freaking head.
Dark.
Dude, if I just gadded you right now and just like...
Well, I wouldn't think much of it.
The last thing to go through your mind is be a bully. Dude, did
Not
the bird
thankfully.
fall through?
No, not
You
yet.
checked?
Yeah, I've checked every day.
It's so cool watching them move.
So what do you think about consciousness? Good thing or bad thing?
Net positive.
Gross negative?
Honestly, I think if you added it up, it would be a gross negative.
Compared to what, though? Compared to less consciousness? We're only talking about degrees.
I think more consciousness has the potential for better or worse. But I think
For
it's
both, actually, for better and worse.
Yeah.
It's both.
I thought I said that.
It's amplifying the
Anyways.
extremes.
Yeah.
We
And-
choose the conscious life. And the ghost life. But all the more the conscious life. Woe unto us.
The law and spirit concept in the Bible, it's not just about Old Testament law. It's about that very concept of we don't actually have language for the divine. We're forced to simplify it so that even though it's useful, it's always a simplification and always technically wrong. And that applies to literally anything we ever say.
Yeah.
I'm here using words as my medium, yet knowing that they are imperfect to such a degree that they are essentially wrong.
The nagging feeling I had experienced initially wasn't going away. What was I feeling? Why was I ignoring it? Something just wasn't right. This is my new favorite villain.
It's not cool to care too much.
I don't think that when I see it's even. I don't think, oh my gosh, he tried.
Well, no, but I also am trying to look a little bit
Oh gosh.
uncouth.
He's trying to look like he didn't try. Oh, that is so
Trying
cool.
not to try.
It's deep. Trying not to try.
OCD Club. We're searching for meaning in meaningless things.
It's all relative. It's all a game.
Life's a game.
She's got it.
Oh, wait,
She's got it.
No, in the book, it says life's a game, be a player or get played.
Damn it, Dr. Phil, stealing my shit. I'm just practicing my dance moves because I realize my upper body is so tense all the time that I can like barely loosen up. I can't loosen up. I can get funky with my legs.
May your days be merry.
and unseasonably bright.
Yeah. Gloves off.
Right back in the time. The difference between, like, a reporter and a storyteller, or a comedian even, is, hey, here's what happened. Okay, cool, that happened. That can happen. And, like, here's what happens.
Right.
Oh shit, that does happen. That's the comedian.
Right.
The eye of Sauron always watches. Look to the east, light of the fifth day.
You know, this workout's one where it shows how much stronger you are. Because it feels like when you...
Oh god, that might have been the most painful one I've ever done. So you're worried about your own work ethic being not up to par. Is that basically it?
Because I can't know what others' work ethic exactly is except in what I literally see.
But there's a broad range of differences in types of people and the work ethic that they're actually biologically designed for, which I'm saying depends on the uniqueness of their potential to contribute. Meaning most people are cut out to be worker bees because the best thing they can do is throw themselves at a task and expend their energy. Whereas the more unique you are, the more you're going to be wired to conserve that and use it in ways that you're specially designed for. Now, the other thing I'm saying is that there is merit in developing a comparable work ethic to kind of conform as needed, but that when you sort of zen yourself into that state, because it's going to be harder for you, that, and this is the essence of the game, it's not going to become easy. It's going to be about remaining mindful to the point where it might actually be harder. Remaining mindful of the fact that you're playing along,
So,
not disembodying.
So like Jesus bearing the cross.
Fresh bowl, THC, 2 hot cups.
Hot Kool-Aid.
Hot Kool-Aid.
Let's go back to what we were discussing.
Which one?
Dude, is this chick that you've been talking about, dude?
I just keep thinking back to it, like, I'm just like, where was I that whole time? You know, like, when you get limited time with somebody, I guess it's easy to just think about yourself or something, instead of just absorbing the moment and, like, listening, paying attention to them. And then, you know, like, I would just, I don't know, I keep thinking, like, what, it would be awesome to just have, like, a few more minutes. It's weird because the way that our cultural currency works is that, like, you have to interview kind of in this unusual language that we exchange love in, which is, you know, like an interview for a full-time position. And if you have good, honest love, it may not exchange into that currency. So a lot of it is wasted.
Your problem is also your solution. You need to be a child again, dude.
Yeah, intellectually I do know that.
I'll kind of be teasing the can into the shot, and you can sort of tell me when my hand is out of it. So it's sort of close up right here. You're too focused on me right now. Start shooting the puppets.
To Rodman's meteoric rise. And that is Dryden. I'm pretty sure meteors fall.
I don't believe in 0 calories.
Do you believe that Monster identifies with the Antichrist?
I really don't give a...
I think you're drinking condemnation on yourself.
Not really. People
Even though I drink it every day.
Always interpret everything in a way that it suits them.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can always put words in God's mouth.
Mm-hmm.
You were seconds from the flames of hell. Maybe I realized that I've overemphasized myself as a creator, an expresser, and that I need to reel that back in a little bit, because it's not so fundamentally different from just living and observing. Categorically speaking, like, creation isn't what we do. We reconstruct. Show the gifts. Show the gifts.
All right. So we got this one and this one.
Baby
You
gift.
see size.
You gift.
Let's see what we've got.
So exclusive, dude. So exclusive.
So exclusive. The Actionables Coffee Table Treasury by Matt Garner. Whoa, this is yours? Oh, snap, bro!
I wrote this back when I was a shitty philosophical
Yes!
dumbass.
Yes! Yes! This is the best! You got little comics everywhere. This is the freaking best.
It's kind of the worst, but you know.
So it's you're saying this.
Okay,
So this is his
listen,
thought.
Here's how it goes. Every single one follows the exact same pattern. They talk this pseudo-intellectual garbage, and then they come up with a terrible solution to fix their problem.
Okay, this is definitely
Something.
Many of us sitting here waiting for the change. For some, that change never comes. And it's so sweet.
When times are tough, tough it up.
Word.
When times are light, dude, light it up, dude. Honestly, I'd be down to make a will right now. And literally say, post up my coffin where the seats are. And just have people talk about the best times they've had with me.
Okay. I mean, they're obviously going to be mourning a very relatively young death for their buddy Angel.
Yeah. But honestly, dude, I think I lived my best life. I feel like I know what it was like before it was any existence of
Really?
me, dude. Yeah.
Tell me, dude.
Honestly, dude, it was just black.
It was just black? Was it boring?
I don't know.
Pretty sure, you were outside of time. And I doubt you remember outside of time. Highly doubt it. But if there was a way to find out, it would be pressing your fists firmly against your eye sockets.
Huh.
I think you got to be self-conscious enough to be self-aware, or conscious of your own seismic impact on everything around you, or else you're just going to F things up for everybody else. So.
Did you see that fork up there, dude?
Up where? What are you looking at? Oh, dude. I didn't know this was a fork. I thought it was like masking tape or something.
Most people seem to be looking for complexity, things on a grand scale. I'm looking for distinction. What's distinct from the rest of nature as we know it. Consciousness. That's supernatural, if anything is.
Right, yeah, no, that's true. I guess what I think you're saying is you don't believe in the spiritual realm.
What do you mean by belief? Do I know that it's there? No, but my hope is in it.
Okay, yeah. Well, then that's what I mean.
If consciousness isn't physical, then whatever it is, sure, let's call it spiritual. But if I say I believe in the spiritual realm, you're going to say, welcome to church, pal.
Yeah. Welcome to church.
It's not my spiritual realm.
This is church, dude.
It's the emotional realm.
It's my favorite right now.
Tyson, did you get sloshed tonight?
We're 65.
Wasted. Hey man, it's Christmas. Let the guy hang some dong. What are you, a fucking cop, bro? Let the guy hang some dong. It's Christmas.
Well, some people think if I just had more confidence, I'd really make something of myself. Tell me, what should I be confident in? My narrative? My ego? My ability to manipulate you into getting along with me? Hell, I don't even know if you're real. Doesn't matter.
Either way, I'm on my own here.
What's the thing? What's the fucking joke? I decided to scrap the handwritten resume. I don't really want to lead with how eccentric I am, if I'm forced to assess myself on paper. Anyway, how about a poem by the iteration of consciousness often referred to as Matt Garnier? The stars aligned for the mystery, to be jarred and tossed by history, the hinge of an unbounded cosmic lever, where the fateful clash of minds and hearts finds fear wired into the inward parts. To venture here was not some bold endeavor. So stuck in a preemptive hell, words fall away the more you yell. It feels absurd, but it just might behoove ya. Forget the quest to understand. Absorb the sky and touch the land as you form your first deep breath of hallelujah. The boy sought answers from within to an entropy that some called sin, and hoped the man upstairs knew truth much grander. Not knowing how he got impure, he borrowed faith in being sure, and quelled the inner voice of brutal candor. In Sunday's best they sat in rows, and sang to the Lord a song he knows. The people in their chorus tried to move ya, and lest you fail to show the love first sent to you from up above, cry praise his name forever, hallelujah. The evidence of things unseen, a mind to ask what does it mean, infringed upon by rules and inhibitions. As he sought to keep his aging eyes directed toward unfading skies, the flock returned, its nature thus envisioned. Hedged in a fragile picket fence, these congregants of confidence droned on, and yet their words proved nothing to ya, for they saw the one they wished to know, that above should be made as below, and thus the stones they threw sang hallelujah. But not despite this narrative, it felt still more imperative to listen for the God whom they're all seeing. Turned out from whence had come the knock that poured out flesh where once was rock, the thought divine I called my very being. As mutineers who win the helm, to search for self within this realm, they peddle lies and often they may fool ya. And so you aim to navigate the course your charts anticipate, no time for one forgotten hallelujah. Should I despise the games I play, defend my mind or quiet stay, and float on where the stream of life is rushing? I wish to throw off childish things, but sit like one before a king, and humbly presume that I know nothing. The ego bids for a royal crown, its secret kept by the noble town. You can't be sure the people ever knew ya, or if it's wrong to claim assent to more than what the actions meant, and where the two converge, say hallelujah. If I'm condemned for having doubt, then on judgment day I'll be cast out, by one who must have made me thus unable. But when we through a portal face the agent of this mortal space, such truth we'll see was never on the table. On rubble of the law I rest, and hope I haven't cursed the test. Would he make man with sole intent to screw ya? I have no choice but now to trust the glory of the God in us, and hold fast to this present. Hallelujah.
I do think we're going to see a future with a much clearer historical retrospective where they're going to look back on us, even those digital footprints that we're so proud of, and see right through us. And even kind of uphold these, there'll be these day-to-day archetypes, these people who embodied something in a future meme sort of way, where they say, from kind of a psychological angle, here's what this guy was. They're going to point to people who were examples of conformity or non-conformity and everywhere in between, and we're going to be like these specimens, these digital fossils of a time when we thought we knew it all and we were just absolutely perfectly preserved.
The digital fossil. That's really striking at the core of what it really is.
But the value of being able to go back and hear yourself or watch yourself, dude, I have probably changed the most by doing that as compared to anything else.
Dude, I'm gonna get it, dude. It's leaking.
Sports Person of the Year.
Just make sure you check for, any incoming vehicles. Your fear of birds just overconquered you, dude?
No. I think it needs to sit and resolve itself.
Maybe it'll just rise up like a phoenix and fly off into the sunset, bro. Into the never-ending forest in the sky.
Quiet on the sack! Hold it down! Stop at 15 seconds!
Oh, but don't you know, life's a stage.
Well, were you recording?
Of course I am. You're used to being sized up a certain way.
Yeah, I am. I think it's this world we live in today, everybody's so scared to say, I don't know.
People will see one thing about you and assume, everything else. And we're all unique individuals with our own experiences that lead us to our views.
And people can read it and they can either see it from my point of view, but never exactly the same because nobody's gonna see it exactly the same. Or they can apply it to their own life. And it can mean so many different things to every single person who reads it.
At some point, get to appreciate what you have and stop taking some stuff for granted and just love what you have. Like, you have more than what people beg for where I'm from, and just respect it.
If you wanted to be a Christian there, in the circles I was in, you had to try. It was like, you know, a lot of the churches we went to were like illegal. So you had to like, you had to put some effort into it. And so we got a lot of like genuine people.
This is just two different worlds, and things have really changed. Even how human beings we relate. So you find that even people who try to pass the message, they don't know how to put it into practice.
I think in the perspective of, okay, we're all, like, I'm just as much human as someone in a completely different country who I've never met. But then on the other side, you know, there's the differences part, and I'm like, wow, this is fascinating. Like, I want to learn about people because they're so different than me.
Like, for me, I'm a pro-life libertarian feminist, and a lot of people say that all three of those things shouldn't be able to coexist, but they do.
I just know when a conversation is necessary and when I don't need to say anything. You just have to be able to know when a person is willing to be open and understand and when a person is not. And you shouldn't have to force them to do it either.
I just think you should honor people for being honest.
Yes.
You should say thank you for being brave enough to bring your real self, your real thoughts, your real intentions into this conversation, because you know where we're not gonna go if we aren't real with each other? We'll be stuck right where we are forever.
Literally.
Just be honest with people.
Yeah, and you don't even realize the impact that you have sometimes. Like our pod is mostly messing around and humorous stuff, having a good time. But so often you don't realize that people are actually like finding so much joy in what you're talking about, and they're like, hey, I was having a tough day and I listened to the pod, and all of a sudden they're like, no, you know what, this is freaking hilarious, I love it. And I mean, that's the funny thing about podcasts.
That's what I love, is just like, it shows off a completely different side of the student body, because like, not everybody's on stage for, you know, worship collective, not everybody's know you praise, not everybody gets to do whatever, but this is like when anybody can come out of the woodworks.
Like, unfortunately, tap is just like a dying art. Like, there's not that many people that are that interested, because it's more of like a older style of dance.
People that just do their thing, they're the best, man.
Like, it is what it is. Like, don't try and oversell it, and don't apologize for it. Like, this is our content, like it or don't.
I love making people smile and bringing joy to people. So for me, the magic isn't the trick. For me, the best part is like right after the trick, when everyone's freaking out, you can see the smiles on people's faces. That's the magic. It's that feeling you get, that impossible childish wonder. That's the stuff.
I know, like, people are starting to doubt and stuff like that, but I was confident that our guys were going to pull it off. It just felt, I mean, like it was supposed to happen. Knowing that we are part of that first March Madness win ever, like, I still haven't processed that. It's unbelievable.
Actually living that moment of just being able to see that moment live, it was awesome.
I'm just trying new things, okay? I thought that's what college was for. People judging me.
Obviously, it's just, I feel like the fear of rejection is just really, really big. Yeah. And I mean, that's scary for everybody. It's scary for me. I think it's really engaging just to see people come to us with that sort of trust.
No, you've tried to get me to talk to girls who I don't want to talk to.
I got on your case that one
Because
time.
you couldn't comprehend how somebody would just embrace a single fleeting moment of chemistry.
And I'm just saying, coincidence
Means something to you?
means something, and that she could be a cool person.
She
Why
probably,
not,
no, of course she's a cool
why
person.
not give yourself
If I go down
gift
that
of
road,
happiness?
If you get
Tyson,
that, if
this
you
is
get
bad news.
No, it's not bad news. If you get that peace of mind, God's timing is usually the best.
Well, we're gonna have to define God.
No, we're not going back there.
Okay.
If you had to make a choice, wouldn't it make more sense to believe in something where there's greater purpose and you don't just die and nothing happens and it's all meaningless?
Well, some people can't will themselves into believing something. It's more fun to believe that.
I feel like identity is really built on your experiences and how you react to those experiences. I got a chance to do basically everything. Through the different times I moved and different times I kind of X'd parts of my identity and added parts of it. And now I feel like I'm kind of conglomerating it all together here in college.
I just think it's hilarious that you're like not comfortable in this setting, but that is your outlet.
Sometimes when I'm with a group of people, literally every other word we say is a meme. And if like if someone older than us was standing there like listening to our conversation, they'd be like, what the heck are they even talking about? You know, like, it's just funny to think about that.
And that's kind of what I think all of meme culture kind of is, like a generation recognizing that they see the same things.
A lot of teachers are good at meeting students where they are and, you know, being in their world and using hip cultural references or something like that. I used to be able to do that, but not so much anymore. I'm still watching The Office and Seinfeld, and I haven't caught up to the rest of the world.
You're doing the right thing now.
This is true. This is true.
Well, it's time to go back into the world.